You know, when you're navigating the high-stakes world of business or just trying to level up your own life, it can feel like you're playing a game, but you don't know all the rules. Well, what if there was a playbook, a kind of framework built on ancient wisdom, but designed for modern mastery? Let's dive into it.
So, let's kick things off with a pretty wild idea. And this is coming from a top physicist, by the way. He's basically suggesting that the solid, predictable world we live in, the world of spreadsheets, market trends, and quarterly reports, that might just be the surface layer. What if everything we see and touch is actually a projection of something much, much deeper? And that leads to a really big question, right? What if, just like the law of gravity, there are other fundamental laws, laws of energy, consciousness, and even success, that we can't see, but that are constantly shaping our reality? To even start to unpack this, we first have to look beyond the purely physical. We have to consider that our day-to-day reality, with all of its incredible highs and frustrating lows, might be running on a kind of hidden operating system. The ancients actually had a name for this operating system: Maya. Now, this isn't about the world being fake or some kind of fantasy, not at all. It's about recognizing that our world runs on duality. The market goes up, it comes down. You land a huge project, you lose another one. Pleasure, pain. This constant cycle, that's the very fabric of our experience. So the real key to mastery is learning how to operate beyond that constant swing of the pendulum. And this really breaks it down for us. We're all experts in physical law, right? Action and reaction, cause and effect. You put in the work, you get a result. But this cosmic law, that's different. It operates on a deeper level. It governs our inner world, our consciousness, our focus. And here's the game changer. If you can learn to work with these hidden laws, you can find a way to navigate life that isn't just about getting bounced around by external events. Okay, so if these hidden laws are real, then how in the world do you actually use them? This isn't just some vague philosophy. Turns out there's a practical science to it, a kind of technology for mastering your inner world.
That science is known as Kriya Yoga. And look, forget whatever you might think about yoga. It's better to frame this as a high-performance technique. It's a direct method for controlling your absolute most valuable resource, your life energy, or what they call prana. It's about learning to quiet all that mental noise so you can channel your focus with, like, surgical precision.
The process is actually incredibly logical when you break it down. First, you just quiet the constant chatter and distraction in your mind. We all know what that feels like. Step 2, you free up the massive amount of energy that's normally wasted on stress and just basic bodily functions. And finally, with all that freed up energy, you can connect with a state of, well, limitless potential.
Now you gotta love this metaphor, right? For any busy person, time and efficiency are everything. This isn't some slow, meandering path. This technique is literally called the airplane route. It's a direct, fast-track method to achieving a state of profound clarity and control in your life. And the scale of that acceleration is just staggering. The thinking was that it takes about 1 million years of normal human evolution to reach our full potential. 1 million. This science was designed as a way to consciously and rapidly speed up your own personal evolution. I mean, if that's not the ultimate life hack, I don't know what is. But let's be real, this kind of accelerated growth isn't a solo mission. Nobody reaches mastery alone. In business, we seek out the best coaches, the best advisors, and this path is no different. In fact, it puts a huge emphasis on the power of guidance. In this tradition, a guide like this is called a guru. But you and I can just think of it as a master mentor. This is someone who has already walked the path, they've mastered the principles, and they can basically serve as a living, breathing blueprint for what is actually possible. And their value is incredibly practical. A great mentor helps you avoid the costly mistakes they've already made, literally saving you years of trial and error. They help you break through those limiting beliefs and bad habits that are holding you back. And maybe most importantly, they inspire you to aim higher by showing you exactly what can be achieved. So right about now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds interesting, but I've got a business to run, a family, responsibilities. This is for monks on a mountain, not me. And that is the single biggest misconception out there.
So here's the crucial point. This entire framework was designed for people in the world. It is not about escaping your responsibilities, it's about completely transforming how you show up for them.
This quote is actually a direct instruction given to one of the great masters of this lineage. He was specifically told to live the life of a householder, a family man with a day job, to prove that this path of mastery is accessible to absolutely everyone. He was the living example of it.
So true mastery, in this context,
isn't about getting more stuff or feeding the ego. It's about a fundamental shift in why you do what you do. It's about performing all your duties in your business, with your family, in your community, with total excellence, but as a contribution to something bigger than yourself. Okay, so let's bring this all home and distill it down into a practical playbook. How can you start thinking about these powerful ideas in your own life, like right now?
First, challenge your reality. Start to recognize that your perceived limits might just be part of a story you can change. Second, master your energy. Your focus, your vitality, that's your greatest asset. Learn how to protect and direct it. Third, find your guide. Actively look for mentors who can accelerate your growth. And finally, integrate, don't isolate. True mastery is won in the trenches of your daily life, not by running away from it.
So ultimately, this playbook leaves us with one final, powerful question to think about. If all of creation is like a vast cosmic movie, and you're not just some passive observer, but an actor with free will, what is the greatest role you can possibly imagine for yourself? What role will you choose to play? If you want to take action, move forward, and find more clients, you can book a free call with CT Marketing using the link below.